Yes, we're welcome back to AFTV. We're outside the Estadio Jose Alvalade Stadium.
Oh, well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to preview the big Champions League game Tuesday night, 8 p.m. kickoff. Listen, we are back with the boys. Some are moaning about the location, some are moaning about the format. But the real question is, after Saturday's performance, have we got our Arsenal back?
Well, after one game we have, but like what we need is that over a period of 5, 6, 7 games, and that's including Europe and also the League Cup as well. So I think Arsenal need to be on a big run with a lot, getting confidence back in all competitions. And so it's no good like beating Nottingham Forest, then coming here and losing, then beating West Ham and then losing again. We've got to get a momentum, and it starts again tomorrow night.
Rob, it's the format you don't like, but it's a performance from Saturday's game that you can kind of buy into. How important is it for Arsenal to carry on?
Yeah, it's another random game. You know what I mean? In this new format, we haven't played Sporting yet.
It's not random at all.
Well, it is random.
It's not random because it's actually important for us to get.
No,
results.
Listen. It's a very I'm not
and it
saying
makes it more interesting.
I'm not saying it's not an important game. It's a very important game. I'm just saying it's a bit of a random game that we're playing Sporting. But you're right. It's a very important game. And like you said, Lee, a bit like in the Premier League where we needed to get back to winning ways, which we did at the weekend, and I thought it was an excellent performance by Arsenal, dominant performance. Now, let's come and do something in Europe, away from home.
Yeah.
Because at home in Europe, we're good. Away from home, in Europe, for a club the size of Arsenal, let's be real, we've been atrocious over the past sort of year or so. We've not, what was the last game we won away from home?
Seville.
Yeah,
Exactly, you know what I mean? That is not good enough, you know what I mean?
That's over a year ago, isn't it?
Over a year ago, you know what I mean? We didn't beat Inter Milan, and they made loads of changes in that game. I know we were a bit unfortunate not to get a result out of that game, and we only drew against Atalanta. And if we were going to sort of progress through in that top 8, I feel we need to win this game tomorrow. So this is a very, very important game, and a game in which Arsenal need to come and make a statement that we are a big European club, you know what I mean? And you've got to come to a place like this and win, especially after what happened to Man City here. Let's come here and do a job.
Yeah, I think the original question was, have we got our Arsenal back? Now, in my opinion, we never really lost our Arsenal. What we lost is our key players. And also, for a lot of the games where we didn't perform, there was reasons for that because we went down to 10 men. So I think when we had 11 men on the pitch and we had all our best players back on the field, then we got our Arsenal back.
True, but we had 11 players against Inter and we didn't win that game. So we really, really need to put performance in this game.
We didn't have our best players.
You're not always going to have your best players. That's the thing. Like,
but we have tomorrow.
So, but we didn't have our best players on Saturday. There were certain players missing. So
who was missing that was our best players?
Declan Rice.
But then Partey came in.
Martinelli, yeah.
Then Trossard came in. I didn't think we lacked the performance. The players that came in, for me, there was no drop off.
Well, let's hope we got.
No, and that's what I'm saying. But there are going to be games when you're going to get injuries. When you're on the run, you're going to miss players. Odegaard is a big player, we know. But at the end of the day, we showed it on. I think we showed on Saturday that we're a good. The squad was up for it.
Yep.
I think there'll be changes again tomorrow, and they've got to make it and show that they're up for it again. And I'm with you guys on this. To not win a European away fixture in a year, it isn't good enough for us.
That's a really bad stat for Arsenal.
Good enough.
Now you spoke about the squad there. We know that Ben White's obviously going to be out. He's the only player that we are missing. The rest of the squad is available. I've seen Kieran Tierney has travelled. Sporting CP, they've got a fully fit side to choose from. The question I want to ask you lot, we've done the road trips, make sure you guys check that out, and we've given our score predictions in there. It's going to be a tough fixture. You're saying Arsenal need to win, but Sporting CP, we spoke about in the league, they're flying. 11 wins out of 11 games. In the Champions League, they're sitting second. They're very, very good side. What benefits Arsenal's fact? Maybe a new manager, Ruben Amorim's obviously gone to Man United. They've got Joao Pereira in there, but they play a 3 at the back. Can Arsenal expose them? Where do you see Arsenal winning this game? Because we haven't scored a goal in a away fixture in 4 games in Europe. So. Yeah. Clearly we're toothless when it comes to getting goals, but also defending. We have lost a few games. We're quite resolute when it comes to defending. But how are we going to beat Sporting CP?
I think I want to see a performance like what we did on Saturday, where straight away we were on the front foot, we were aggressive, and we really went at Nottingham Forest and controlled the game. Obviously, going to be a lot more difficult here because we're away from home.
Didn't City do that? Didn't City do that against Sporting? And they ended up losing that game?
They did, but before City did get that beating in the end, You know, they were really on top and they missed a lot of chances. I think you've got to come to these grounds and you can't come here with loads of fear in you. You know what I mean? Sporting are a very good side, but we're not going to the Bernabeu, are we? We're not going to the Camp Nou. Come on, you know what I mean? This is a place that Arsenal should come without fear and say, right, you know, we're you know, yes, you are a top club. Yes, you have won the league over here in this country, and definitely you cannot disrespect Sporting. They're a very, very good side, but so are we. You know what I mean?
This is our toughest Champions League game
Well, I was
so
going to
far.
ask that. Is
it
Inter
is.
Milan better than these?
I think
We had PSG as well.
I'd say Inter Milan
At home?
Inter Milan away on paper should have been a harder game. I mean, there is no doubt that this team is absolutely flying. I mean, 11 wins out of 11. It's quite incredible.
In their league, yeah.
In their league. Even on their Champions League form.
Yeah, they've done
it's
really
really
well.
good. But then it's very difficult to judge them for the opposition that they're playing, because I really think that...
But Man City, you can't.
Yeah, but if you look
Got
at
four past
if you look at the Man City game, Robbie, you were quite correct in that.
Yeah.
Is that the scoreline for me wasn't really that reflective.
Flat.
First 30 minutes,
No, it
City were
wasn't
all
like
over them. But I think
if you look at the possession stats, 79% for City. The amount of chances each team created, it was 6 shots on target each.
Gokras had a massive chance and missed that.
I mean,
There was one-on-one.
there was 20 shots from City, only 9 from CP.
Yeah, Haaland missed the
But
penalty.
they-
Sugar, sorry.
They
cleared.
they weren't
Cleared.
clear. They were clear.
And
Everything-
a lot of that is that, you know, the striker that they have up front in Victor Gyökeres, a player that a lot of Arsenal fans would love to see at the Emirates, right? And he's absolutely flying at the moment, and they're a very cohesive team and they're a very confident team. And why wouldn't you be if you're second in this league at the moment, right? So, you know, they're going to be a really confident team. They're going to be a really good side. They've beaten the best team in England.
Not
in
at the
Manchester.
moment. Not at the
But
moment.
you know,
on recent form.
Not on
they're
recent
top,
form, but,
and
you know what I mean,
They
but-
played them recently.
yeah, but they've beaten. Going into that game, they weren't off that terrible run.
Yes,
That's
they
where
were. That was-
the run
that was
began.
no, it didn't.
Right?
Because he mentioned after the game.
So they say it was after the
midfield-
Spurs game,
Yeah,
we
no,
always-
it was after the Spurs game, and the midfielder
Or was it
said
before
because
the Spurs game?
the German midfielder said they're in a dark place. That was his quote after the
Couldn't
game.
be.
Yeah, but listen, they
'cause
So they must
still-
have lost to Bournemouth as well
They'd
then.
lost to
like.
Bournemouth. They'd lost to Spurs. It was a third defeat in a row.
But what City have achieved over, we wouldn't.
Yeah,
you
I'm
see still top-
going off.
it's one of
I'm
the best
going off
clubs
the
in
fact
the
that,
country.
you know what I mean,
at the
they're Sporting CP, they're coming up against Man City,
It was an
Pep
incredible
Guardiola,
result.
Erling Haaland. That is a hard task for any team, no matter
But,
what the form
listen,
is.
I'll tell you
So
what.
this is a tough game.
I'll tell you what, like, I'd take a 4-1 win against Man City at any sort of time.
exactly.
We've never done
Exactly.
that. So, like, you know, I think you've got to give credit where credit's due for that performance, wherever they are, like, you know. And unfortunately, you have to do with Spurs as well, like, you know. So, they're still being beaten and they're being beaten convincingly by a team like this. So, I think you've got to take caution with what you're doing with this team, especially with them up front. If you bang in 4 goals against a team like Man City, then you're capable.
You're a top side.
You're just- and also, you know, second in the group in the whole entire league
yeah.
thing. Like, you know, listen, we'd like to be second in the group, and
100%.
we're not.
100%.
And they probably know that if they win against us, they're really in the
Give them a
driving
chance
seat
to get into the
finish.
top 8.
Yeah, they'll be
So,
qualifying.
Yeah.
I think it would be the hardest game they've got.
In the last 7 meetings between Sporting CP and Arsenal, they haven't actually beaten us. So I think they've drawn 4 and they lost twice. Granted, obviously they beat us in penalties a few seasons back, but when it actually in the full night, they haven't actually beaten us. Now on this side, me and Lee, our score predictions were 1-1. You went 3-1. I didn't get your score prediction, Junior. You
Well, I'm trying to convince myself and look at the reasons why.
That's what I need. I need from you and Robbie to decide
yeah.
why you think it's going to be this compared to what
my
we think it's
3-1
going to be
was
as well.
based off of, you know what, we've got to turn up at one stage, right? Like what we did on Saturday. If we turn up at one stage against one of these top teams, we do have the ability to really put a top team to the sword.
And this is the game, not Girona.
But Mikel Arteta, the manager, has to find his way of doing things away from home. I think that in Europe he's been too cautious, and I'm probably being very, very optimistic in my prediction and hoping. It's more on hope, but I feel that if he really has a go and we take our chances, we can come here and put in a really strong performance and put in a really good and win this game. But too many times away from home we've been too cautious. I did feel that we were a bit more attacking in the game against Inter, but we did miss the influence of Martin Odegaard. And again, we didn't have strikers in the box and stuff like that. I'm hoping the fact that he's kept back Havertz and the fact that Odegaard's back in and Saka had a great game at the weekend, that we're going to come in this full throttle, full of confidence, and put in a win, put in a great victory in this Champions League, because we've not seen that away from home for a very, very long time in this format.
Sorry, just let Julian, can you strengthen the argument in any way, or why you think? Why don't you tell me your score prediction quickly as well?
It's 1-0 to Arsenal.
Okay, yeah.
So the first thing I'll say is that I am really impressed by Sporting, even against Man City. I might have said the stats more in Man City's favour, in that they were slightly fortunate with that scoreline. However, the goals that they scored, how they transitioned, was quite incredible. That they were not only clinical, but the speed of it was quite incredible.
Side.
But the reason I think Arsenal will still win is because we've got our main player back, for me, who gels us together in Martin Odegaard. I'm pretty confident in, as much as I was really impressed with Arteta on Saturday when he took off Jorginho at half time, because he's in the mindset of, we cannot have another sending off, because that's what has absolutely decimated our season. The flip side, and I just don't know how good Sporting are, because the level of opposition that they play, for me, is not up there with the Premier League. I've looked through the Portuguese league, as I do with a lot of leagues, and I'll admit there's a lot of teams in there that I couldn't pronounce, number one.
Give them credit because they've won the league. That's the thing. They've won the league. And we know what I would say. We know Porto are a good team because they beat us, and we struggled to beat them over 2 legs. And they finished above them. And we know Benfica are a top team, and we know Braga are a good team. And that's 4 I've picked out already, and they won the league. And not only that, they hadn't won the league for a very, very long time, and they've won it a couple of times now in the last few years. So they are a very, very good side.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we will win the game. The one thing that I will go back, I thought we was poor against Atalanta, but that was in between Manchester City and Tottenham. We've got difficult games now with West Ham coming up there, and I think at the end of the day, why I've gone for a draw is because even though I want us to win, desperately want us to win, if we was to get a draw, I don't think it's the end of the world. Where I think on Saturday, it virtually is if we don't win on Saturday. So every game's big. And I think at the end of the day, if we can take a draw here, win our 2 home games, and then beat Rome, then I think we'll be okay. But I love it that they've got the enthusiasm that we're going to win this game. I believe that we can, but I think it's going to be a lot tougher than what we actually imagine.
I think if we don't win it, I think we're going to struggle for that top 8 position. I think we're pretty much nailed on to qualify in the 16 after. But to get that top 8, I think we need to come here and win.
The thing is, when you see some of the teams that are lingering around now in
below us,
Real Madrid,
Bayern Munich,
you don't really want to be. You don't really want to be finishing out of that top 8 now. Yeah. So
Well, listen, thank you to the positive side and the. I don't know.
We're not negative.
We're not negative. But listen, we all know we all want to win, but. This is how we feel right now.
There's another reason, if I can.
No. I need to.
They're going by their head. We're going by head. They're going by their heart.
Exactly.
I'm definitely not going by.
Thank you everyone for watching this.
Just one reason, and that's their manager Pereira. He's got so little experience. He's had 1 senior game against an amateur side. He won it
6-0.
It was against a 4th division side.
Manager bounce as well. Manager bounce is a real thing though.
Okay, so in his career, the last 2 years, he's managed their under 23 teams. He had a 36.36% win ratio.
He's taken over a well-drilled team. You can't judge it off of what he's done in under 23s, because we know even from our under 21s and that, you can't judge, right?
I'm saying he hasn't got experience.
Yeah, well, not in Mikel, he's done all right.
And there's one other thing, that the manager has taken 5 of his backroom staff to Man United. That's decimated their coaching.
That's I would say that's a very good point.
They didn't really affect it on Saturday when they won 6-0.
But that was against the Division 4 side.
All right,
and
listen,
it was Friday.
It's getting dark. We're going to draw this preview to a close. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know what you're thinking ahead of this game. Will it be a comfortable win for Arsenal, a draw, a potential loss? Let us know your thoughts and feelings, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care, people.